Xin chào. Hello. Alright, so this is going to be the coronavirus update for Vietnam. Today's February the 14th on a Friday. So right now we've got 65,000 cases worldwide. It's jumped up, I mean, like I predicted, a huge amount. We got 1,500 deaths. We still have the 80-20 when you get infected, so 80% are pretty much going to make it fine, 20% are serious, which is really good. So in Vietnam, about 20 miles away from Hanoi, in a place called Son Loi, they have quarantined an entire little city village of 10,000 people. Which, you know, they're really stepping up the measures. They're also doing a 20-day quarantine instead of the typical 14-day, because we now know that the incubation period is just much longer on this thing than he had anticipated. Now, to go into that could be a real big breaking point for this thing, because they didn't realize that it had a possible 20 to 28 day incubation period until a few days ago. So they could have let a lot of infected people go, gone home, flied back to their country, and now they'll show symptoms, and many asymptomatic, and may give it to other people. As far as everything in Saigon, it's all back to normal. It's like it never really even happened. After they did the 10K village, you saw the mask come back into walking around. Saigon's always been a face mask city because of the smog, but now you see everyone, even when they're not on their face mask, just walking around, or not on their moped or bike, just walking around, have the mask on. So if you really want to, you know, get the information on this, because I'm not like a doctor, or I'm not like a infectiology guy, or any of this stuff, I would highly recommend checking out Dr. John Campbell's page. His page is amazing. His YouTube channel gives you a lot of good information. He's not partisan to one thing. In fact, he says China is doing a good job on trying to contain it now. Kind of gives it how it is. And then Peak Prosperity, he's really good too. He's a numbers guy and a doctor, so I think he has the best handle, and has since day one, on what's going on and how fast this thing will spread. My prediction is 200,000 infected by the end of next week, easily, with the way that R naught has significantly gone up. So the reason why the numbers were low at first is because China was misinforming us on how someone would die. Like, I know that the death numbers are low in China, because here's how they would do it. If somebody would just die waiting, they would just say they died from some other thing, or even pneumonia, but they never ran a test kit on it, so it wasn't a confirmed coronavirus death. So, I mean, you've got to realize that CCP in China is the leaders of misinformation and controlling things. They usually wait until it gets so bad that they then have to do something and then admit fault. That is how they've worked in all kinds of areas. If you want to brush up more on that, you don't have to take my word for this stuff. Like I said, I'm not a scholar of the news and all this stuff, but if you want to brush up on that, check out Serpentenza's channel and check out ADV China. I mean, they do a really good job of really laying it out there on how China is for many, many years. I mean, Winston Serpentenza has been a vlogger for well over 10 years, and you know, he loves China. His wife's Chinese, and me as well. I love Vietnam. I mean, my girlfriend's Vietnamese, so come on. I'm not a pro-conspiracy theorist guy. I'm not a pro-warrior. Like everybody's, many Americans are getting skeptic on how I am about this, because they hear that, oh, it's just like the flu. This has nothing to do with the flu. You can just take the flu stats and throw them out, because this is nothing to do with the flu whatsoever. It might be in the same family, but this is a totally different thing. This thing's airborne now. Masks do something. Masks help so you don't give it to other people if you're infected, and it does lower your chances of getting infected by a little bit. So I mean, they're worth the half. So like, I don't look down at people that don't have masks, but I don't think it's the smartest of decisions to be running around the heavily dense populated tourist areas here without having some kind of protection. That's just my opinion on it. I mean, I'm not trying to look down on anyone. I don't really judge people too much. It's not my wheelhouse. So they did in the Son Loi area. They did set up checkpoints all around in Ben Zuin, the outskirts of Son Loi. So they're fully checking everyone. You check in, check out, checkpoints. This is for the 10,000 people in the village that were just quarantined. So as far as I know, that's the largest quarantine. I don't know how many are in the cruise ships total, but I think outside of the cruise ships in China, this is the largest quarantine in the country. So I really do applaud Vietnam for really stepping it up. Like I said, they send text messages, they send Zalo messages every day on stuff. I had read a few news articles where they said Hanoi, they locked out, they shut down some of the public areas and maybe possibly the walking street. Well, that's not true at all. Hanoi's running around doing business just the same as Ho Chi Minh is. One of my best friends lives in Hanoi, so I asked him and he said, no, nothing's shut down, everyone's going out. There's signs posted everywhere to wash your hand and use antiseptic and all that stuff. But for the most part, it's business as usual. I mean, like I said, after Tet, there was a week there where everyone was really cautious here, and now it's completely gone back to normal stuff. So if you are going to travel here, know that you can go to all the places still, especially in Ho Chi Minh. I mean, Bed Pond Market was open for heck's sake, wide open. I mean, there was tour buses pumping people out. It looked fully packed. When I did that motorbike vlog and drove around, the normal amount of cars again. The air pollution did drop a bunch for a week. I think it's starting to gradually go back up now. And I think the air pollution dropped for two reasons. Tet holiday, of course. Saigon essentially becomes like a ghost town during Tet. So let's talk about another reason why this thing's probably going to go wide scale, is where China messed up again, CCP. And I don't mean Chinese people. The Chinese people don't have any control. It's their government, the CCP. The CCP should not have allowed people to travel on Tet holiday. That's my opinion. They knew about this thing well before Tet got kicked off. They should have stopped all travel from outgoing, at least from the Hubei province. That should have not even have been a question. But they let people travel for Tet holiday. It's the largest migration all year long for people anywhere. Like some 11 million people travel worldwide from China during Tet holiday. And a lot of people don't understand even what the Tet is. It's a very long thing. It's like 10 days long. It's like taking our New Year's and extending it to 10 days of where you travel, you go see family, you go back to your hometowns, all this stuff. So I mean, they let a mass amount of travel happen without enough optics and information on this thing to do that. They should have shut it down. Now I understand why they're trying to get a handle on that kind of stuff. It's all about the economies. These economies are very important. I mean, this is all going to have a huge economic impact on everywhere. I mean, including Vietnam. I have quite a few friends that work at hotels and stuff like that, and they said the bookings are down, the bookings are getting canceled, stuff like this. So, what else do we got? Let's see. I think we're good. I think I covered pretty much everything. So yeah, I mean, the cases have significantly gone up, but I had already discussed how I felt that would happen. I think they're saying 65,000 cases. I think it's already well over 100,000. The R0 just keeps increasing on this thing. So for the technical information, I highly recommend John Campbell and Pete Prosperity. These are the guys you want to go to for this information. As far as like coming here to travel to Ho Chi Minh, that's a decision you have to make. I'm just giving you the information that I see here. If we go by the numbers, it's still, I guess, relatively safe to come to Ho Chi Minh. Hanoi, I don't know if I would travel to Hanoi. I would probably not go to Hanoi, just because it's so close to the border, and they just locked down 10,000 in that village. I mean, you just never know what's going to happen. You're kind of taking a slight bit of a gamble. And again, I wouldn't want to be in a plane traveling for 18 hours with a bunch of people. Just doesn't sound like a good idea to me. It's just the same as a cruise ship. It's like an incubator for this thing. The air doesn't get circulated right, so you're just taking chances as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. There's 16 confirmed cases now as well in Vietnam. Another one came out of that Sun Noi lockdown in that village. So who knows how many will test for that? The problem with this thing too is the test kit. Even Japan, that's what they're running into with this cruise ship, is they don't have enough of the kits. So now they have to start taking chest x-rays and then going by the symptoms. And that's going to be how it goes from here on out, because there's just not enough for these test kits, and I think any of the cities really. So that's how I look at it. that's all I got, guys. Like I said, Ho Chi Minh's back to normal. I'm still not going out. Like I'll go out and go for a run, and I might motorbike around a little bit. But as far as going out to like a bar, or like a public gathering, or like a Korean barbecue, I'm just gonna hold off. Like I'm okay to be at home most of the time until the real optics are out on this thing. I mean, the way Peak Prosperity is making it sound is it's just gonna sweep everywhere, every country, every state, I mean everything. So I think at a certain point there's going to be no hiding from it or running away from it. It seems like China's doing a pretty darn good job now of locking down entire cities. So that's what I got for you guys today. So I hope the information is informal for you. I'm not trying to scare anyone or panic anyone or make anyone worry or think I'm a worrier or a conspiracy theorist or any of this stuff. This is just the information that I have and what I can see with my own eyes from here. Oh, we got a nice sunset too. I think you saw it in the background as it started. So if you want to subscribe. If you want to hit the like button, hit the like button. If you want to give the Patreon, give the Patreon. I'm going to set up a Bitcoin wallet as well in the next few days. So whatever you want to give helps, but these videos, these ones about the coronavirus, aren't particularly about making a profit. In fact, they aren't at all. I just want people who are like, because I know what I'd be doing if I was at home right now in America and coming to Vietnam. I'd be watching the shit out of videos and I'd be Googling it and wondering, do I cancel my trip or do I not? I mean, Ho Chi Minh's relatively okay as of right now. I would still probably hold off till March or mid-March or maybe even April if I had like a nice long trip, because wearing the mask does suck. Like, I have a lot of Viet friends too. Like I have a Viet friend that lives in the States, has a family here, comes back and forth a lot, and he doesn't even want to come back here right now. And I mean, he's full, Vietnamese. So it's how you look at things and how your perspective of stuff is. So if you don't do the research and if you don't look at all avenues of information, and definitely don't believe like what CNN and stuff's telling you. That's insane. Anyone that says that that the common flu kills more people per year and it's way more worse than anything that this could be was made from CCP from China. China has been saying that since day one, that America has way more deaths from the flu than this virus could ever do, and that's going to be proven wrong very quickly. I can almost promise you that. So that's my thoughts. Everyone have a really good day. Have a good Valentine's. Happy Valentine's. So that's what I got. Peace out, everyone. Oh, and just a little bonus information, bonus content. These are the 3 masks I have. This is probably the best one. This N95 SAS mask. It's got 2 of the straps. It really safely goes on. It's extremely difficult to breathe out of though. This is another mask. It's not N95, but it has a really good fit to it. I don't know what the brand of it. I think it's Japanese, if I remember right. It works really well though, but it doesn't have N95 protection, but it does do a good job of completely covering your mouth, your chin, and all that stuff. This mask I actually like the best. It is easier to breathe for because it has the reverberator here. It fits pretty snug. They say it's reusable for 7 days, but you don't reuse it for 7 days. You would use this for 1 day or 4 hours of use and then use a new one. But this is my favorite one as far as walking around, comfortability, and all that stuff. And then, of course, me and Win, we check each other's temperatures all the time with this thing here. And I'll show you my temperature now. Yeah, I'm good to go, 36.8. So yeah, before she goes to work, we check her temperature. When she gets home, we check her temperature. We check her temperature in the morning and at night. So that's just a little bonus content, guys. All right, peace.